I could sit here for hours. Everybody wants to go home.
Not to add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco, but why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses?
Rachel Zegler's latest career move was supposed to be her big comeback, a chance to win back fans and prove her critics wrong. But instead, it's turning into a public disaster. After the Snow White controversy, where her bold takes on the classic Disney film alienated audiences, Rachel decided to reinvent herself on stage.
What do you honestly expect? I mean, they had to stop actually promoting this film because the promotions itself were so bad.
Taking on the role of Eva Peron in the London revival of Evita was supposed to be her redemption. But here's the problem. The London Palladium, a theater with over 2,200 seats, has been struggling to fill even half of them for her shows. Ticket sales are in freefall, prices have been slashed, and Rachel's critics are louder than ever. So, what went wrong? And what does this mean for her future in Hollywood? Rachel Zegler's career soared after her breakout role in West Side Story. She was hailed as a rising star, with studios betting big that she'd be Hollywood's next Golden Girl. But everything changed after her involvement in Disney's live-action Snow White. Instead of embracing the beloved story, Rachel made headlines for calling the original movie outdated and criticizing the prince as a stalker. Fans didn't take kindly to her remarks, accusing her of mocking a film that held a special place in their childhoods. The backlash was swift and brutal, with many labeling her as out of touch and dismissive.
You're just trying to get everyday tasks done, and there's people who actually don't really care about who you are but care that you're someone. It gets really disrespectful and you're like...
Fast forward to her stage debut in Evita, and it's clear Rachel was hoping to move past the controversy. Taking on the iconic role of Eva Peron was a bold choice. Evita is a legendary show with a devoted following, and the London Palladium is one of the most prestigious theaters in the world. This was her chance to prove herself, not just as a film actress, but as a versatile performer capable of commanding the stage.
She's so woke, they've gone broke, that basically I don't even know if they can afford the big premiere this time.
But instead of a triumphant comeback, Rachel has been met with rows of empty seats and dwindling interest. The London Palladium is no ordinary venue. With over 2,200 seats, it's a massive stage that demands a star who can draw a crowd. Unfortunately for Rachel, ticket sales for Evita have been alarmingly low. Reports claim that more than 70% of the seats remain unsold for most performances, and prices have dropped to as low as $29, a shocking number for a production of this scale. Even with discounted prices, the demand just isn't there. Entire sections of the theater sit empty, night after night.
It is the real beginning of my life as a young lady of America. Of America.
And it's not like people don't know about the show. Rachel's name has been plastered across promotional materials, and the production itself is based on a beloved musical. The issue seems to be that audiences simply aren't interested in seeing her take on the role. This isn't just a rough opening week either. The low turnout has been consistent, with no signs of improvement.
Validating. A lot of hard work has gone into this film, but so much love, truly, speaking for myself and also for the filmmakers behind it, just so much love for the storytelling.
For a production as ambitious as Evita, this kind of reception is nothing short of a disaster. And for Rachel, it's a clear sign that her public image may be impacting her ability to connect with audiences. Rachel Zegler's struggles on stage are about more than just ticket sales. They're a direct result of the backlash she's been carrying since the Snow White controversy. If you've been following the drama, you'll remember how her comments about the classic Disney film and its characters struck a nerve with audiences.
Not to add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco, but why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses, come out to present?
She called the 1937 original outdated and criticized the prince's role, labeling him as weird and stalker-like. While she likely thought she was offering a fresh perspective, fans took it as an unnecessary attack on a beloved childhood favorite. What made things worse was the tone of her interviews. Instead of connecting with fans, many felt she was talking down to them, mocking the story and its legacy rather than celebrating its place in pop culture. The backlash was swift, with social media platforms like TikTok and Twitter lighting up with criticism. Fans accused her of disrespecting the source material and trying to impose a modern, overly political spin on a classic tale.
But not include Rachel Zegler, who's going to be Snow White. They're clearly acknowledging Disney princesses from movies that have not been released yet.
Even though the Snow White film hasn't been released yet, the controversy surrounding it has been relentless. Rachel became a lightning rod for criticism, with fans taking issue not just with her comments, but with her overall attitude. For many, it wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. Now, as she steps onto the stage in Evita, the backlash is still following her. Discussions on Reddit and TikTok reveal that fans haven't moved on. Threads and comments often reference her past remarks, with some even saying they're actively avoiding the theater because of her involvement. Her critics have made it clear, this isn't just about her performance, it's personal. What's ironic is that Evita is a story about a woman rising to power and struggling with public perception, a narrative that mirrors Rachel's current situation. But instead of inspiring audiences, her connection to the show seems to be driving them away.
Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out, even though she was the only one with a hit movie this year of the four. Did anyone else notice this, or am I overthinking?
Despite all the negativity surrounding Rachel Zegler's public image, one thing is undeniable. She's talented. Critics who've attended Evita have praised her vocal performance, calling her voice powerful and her stage presence captivating. Clips from the show, shared on TikTok, showcase her impressive range and ability to hold her own in a demanding role like Evita Peron. Even fans who've been critical of her public persona admit that she shines when she's performing. But here's the problem. Talent alone isn't enough to win audiences back. In an era where public perception can make or break a career, Rachel's offstage actions and comments have overshadowed what she brings to the stage. Fans don't just want a great performance. They want to feel a connection to the person behind it. And right now, Rachel's perceived attitude is acting as a barrier. This disconnect isn't new in Hollywood.
I had no idea what I was auditioning for when I auditioned. So it's a kind of a hilarious question to say, what drew you to the material? Is that, I didn't realize that I was reading lines of Dopey.
History is full of talented stars who struggled to resonate with audiences because of their public image. But Rachel's case feels particularly stark. She's in a position where her performances are being drowned out by the noise of her controversies. And in live theater, there's no editing, no second takes. What you see is what you get. Theater doesn't lie. If audiences aren't filling seats, it's a sign that something deeper is wrong. Rachel's talent is clear, but the question is whether she can repair her relationship with fans before it's too late. Her critics argue that she needs a shift in approach. Less focus on making bold public statements and more focus on humility and connecting with the audience. Meanwhile, her supporters believe she's being unfairly targeted and that her talent deserves more recognition. So, can Rachel Zegler turn things around? Some say it's not too late, but the path forward won't be easy. It'll take more than just great performances. It'll take a complete rethinking of how she presents herself to the public. Rachel Zegler's current struggles highlight a deeper issue in Hollywood, the industry's obsession with creating stars overnight. After her breakout role in West Side Story, Rachel was fast-tracked into the spotlight, with studios positioning her as the next big thing.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
She was handed high-profile projects like Snow White and the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, all while being hyped as Hollywood's new golden girl. But here's the thing. Audiences don't just automatically accept a new star because Hollywood says so. Fans want to feel a connection, to see authenticity, and to believe that a performer has earned their place. And that's where the disconnect with Rachel began. While her talent is undeniable, her rapid rise felt manufactured, like Hollywood was forcing her into roles before audiences had a chance to truly embrace her. This isn't the first time the industry has made this mistake. Remember actors like Jai Courtney or Sam Worthington? Both were positioned as the next big action stars, yet audiences never fully connected with them. The result? Their careers stalled as quickly as they began. Rachel's situation feels eerily similar. Studios have poured millions into her projects, but the support from fans hasn't followed, leaving her in an awkward spot where her public image is overshadowing her actual work. What makes this even more complicated is the timing. Rachel stepped into the spotlight during an era where fans are more critical than ever. Social media has given audiences a voice, and they're not afraid to use it. Whether it's calling out perceived arrogance or dissecting controversial statements, fans are quick to hold celebrities accountable.
And then it became like, I will elbow everyone out of the way to play the part.
And unfortunately for Rachel, she's become an example of what happens when Hollywood tries to create stardom without first earning the audience's trust. The lesson here is simple. Studios can't force a connection. True stardom can't be manufactured. It has to grow naturally. And right now, Rachel's rapid rise is starting to feel more like a cautionary tale than a success story. So where does Rachel Zegler go from here? Can she recover from the backlash and rebuild her career? Or is she destined to fade into the background as Hollywood's latest misstep? The truth is, her future depends on how she chooses to move forward. For one, Rachel could take a step back from the spotlight to focus on her craft. Right now, her public image is overshadowing her talent, and a period of low-key, high-quality projects could be exactly what she needs to remind fans why she was given these opportunities in the first place.
I'm a narcissist.
Another option? A genuine moment of humility. Fans value authenticity, and a heartfelt acknowledgement of past missteps could go a long way in repairing her connection with audiences. It's not about groveling. It's about showing that she's willing to listen, grow, and learn from the criticism. But the challenges are bigger than just her next move. Hollywood itself is watching closely. Rachel's struggles have become a case study in how not to launch a star. Studios are likely rethinking their strategies, realizing that throwing someone into high-profile projects without building audience goodwill can backfire spectacularly. And then there's the question of whether Rachel can escape the shadow of her controversies. Right now, her name is more associated with backlash than with her actual performances. If she can't shift that narrative, it could spell trouble for her long-term career. That said, it's not all doom and gloom. Rachel Zegler has the talent to succeed. There's no denying that. And if she can find a way to reconnect with fans, she still has a chance to turn this around. But it won't be easy. The entertainment world moves fast, and sympathy is in short supply. Her story isn't over yet, but whether it ends as a redemption arc or a cautionary tale is now entirely up to her.
He scales back Snow White Hollywood premiere amid Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot controversies. Now, this is the lighter headline, because I could have gone.
Rachel Zegler's rise to fame was supposed to be a Hollywood fairy tale. The talented newcomer with a Golden Globe under her belt, destined for stardom. But instead, it's turning into a cautionary tale about the dangers of losing touch with your audience and the risks of being thrust into the spotlight too fast. The backlash she faced over her Snow White comments wasn't just about a single interview. It was about how fans felt dismissed by someone representing a story they've loved for generations. And now, as she faces rows of empty seats in London's Palladium for Evita, the message couldn't be clearer. Talent alone isn't enough. Fans want more than a great performance. They want authenticity, humility, and someone who respects their connection to the work.
Who hates when I win. The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her.
Rachel's current struggles are a wake-up call, not just for her, but for Hollywood as a whole. Studios can't manufacture stardom or force audiences to embrace someone. Fans decide who they support, and as we've seen, they're not afraid to push back when they feel overlooked or disrespected. But this isn't the end for Rachel Zegler. If she's willing to learn from this experience and focus on rebuilding trust with her audience, there's still time for a comeback. A genuine moment of self-reflection, paired with roles that highlight her undeniable talent, could help shift the narrative. She could still emerge as one of Hollywood's brightest stars, but only if she takes the opportunity to reconnect with the people who make that stardom possible. So, what do you think? Is Rachel Zegler's career at a crossroads, or is this just a bump in the road? Can she bounce back? Or has Hollywood's star machine pushed her too far, too fast? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive into the biggest stories in entertainment. The drama in Hollywood is far from over, and we'll be right here to unpack it all. See you in the next one.